Hey y'all, it's Donovan, the D in K&D Productions. And I just wanted to say there are some racy jokes in this episode. And we may make some racy jokes. So if you don't enjoy those jokes, just remember it's a joke. People are gonna say things that you don't like. If you don't like it, fuck you. Get over it. Anyways, enjoy the episode. Bye.
Hi everybody, I'm Kobe Williams, the K in K&D Productions, and I truly would like to apologize. I am being joined by Donovan Lowry, perhaps best known as the Yacht, and we tend to get ahead of ourselves sometimes. Our humor is not humor for everybody, and we need to use our platform to fight the better fight. And we're going to start doing that. We have researched how to better ourselves and what is appropriate and what isn't. And with that information, we are bettering ourselves every day. Thank you for sticking along and welcome to the Maturish Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Maturish Podcast. I am Kobe, your friend, your brother, your lover, the boat. And today, just like every other episode, I am being joined by you, the viewer at home, at work, at school, or prison. It's us two, but there's also a third person here. You can consider it a threesome. This person sitting across from me is wonderful, beautiful, full, and more importantly than anything else, he is my best friend. Donovan, the Yacht, Laura.
No.
Laura, Donovan, the Yacht, Lowry.
Hi, I'm Donovan Lowry. And Kobe, thank you for allowing me into your garage once again for another episode of this that we do.
Yeah, it's really the least I could do. Today's episode
Yep.
is sponsored by
No.
dude, the disc.
No.
No, okay. So let's get into it first.
Okay.
I was confused. Gave you the paragraph. I told you this is what you need to say.
Yep.
Put it there. Yet,
Yep.
there were some things missing.
Nope.
Yes. There was like a whole little paragraph there that wasn't included.
Really?
Was there a pasting issue or?
Oh, I guess so. Anyways, today's episode, we are going to be talking about growing up black in America and the world.
That's true.
You okay, Kobe? I know it's a touching subject.
It is. I have a question for you.
Okay.
And it's a simple question, you could say. And it's a question that might invoke a lot of is that a word? Evoke?
I think one of those.
It evoke a lot of thought.
Yes.
Out of you, hopefully.
Probably not.
Donovan.
Yep.
To you.
Okay.
Being all that you are and then some. The Yacht.
Okay.
What does it mean to the Yacht to be black?
To Donovan, being black means of the very darkest color, owing to the absence of or complete absorption of light, the opposite of white. And that is really empowering to me.
Sorry.
What's
No.
wrong?
No, this is not that episode. I'm sorry. That was very rude of me.
This is what this means to me. It's
yes.
so powerful to me. You're
It's
making fun of me?
No, I'm not making fun of you. It's
I don't find this very amusing.
It's not. It's just I don't expect, like, when I ask you a question, it seems like I get the literally dictionary definition of what it means to be black, and it's interesting to me.
Well, I mean, that's just what I think of, I guess.
So you said that is empowering to you.
Mm-hmm.
How is that empowering to you, Donovan?
That's also a good question. You're so good with questions, Kobe.
Thank you. It's my day job, you know.
Here's what I'm thinking. You ready?
This is what you are thinking.
Yeah, me. No third party, just me in my own mind.
Mm-hmm.
The absence of or complete absorption of light, the opposite of white.
Right.
Us, blacks, and whites are opposites. And we must remain separate. That's why it's empowering to me.
Hey, I'm going to stop you just for like 15 seconds.
Okay.
The views expressed by certain people here at K&D Productions is not the views that reflect both K&D or K&D Productions as a company. As you were saying, you believe that blacks and whites should be separated?
Mm-hmm. Seeing as they are opposite.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to need it. It's okay. I'm going to make a disclaimer for this episode.
What do you expect me to say?
That's what I think.
Uh-huh.
For my definition, black and whites are opposite.
Thank you.
Opposites attract.
Yeah, they sure do.
They do. Do you attract to the whites?
That's not what we're going to talk about.
It's a question.
Not today. Thank you for your question. Perhaps.
Wait! Do you attract to the whites, Kobe?
Donovan.
Answer the question.
Donovan. There's a time and a place. What time is it?
What time is it? 9:06
p.m.
8
and
9, 10. Hello.
My garage is not the place. 9:19
Okay.
is not the time.
Yep.
Okay? We have, in a lot of ways, Donovan.
Yeah.
We are one and the same. But let's think about you growing up.
Okay.
And there's a couple things I do want to hit here. But how did being black impact you growing up? Do you think you grew up? Now, what I'm meaning is think of stereotypes, okay? In movies and, in entertainment, being black is like 50 people inside of one home, streets are crowded, everybody, whatever. Violence, there's gunshots, windows are boarded up. How is the stereotypical growing up black different than how you grew up?
I guess I was. I'm not gonna say that actually.
This is a very safe space.
Is it?
You've already said.
You've already attacked my views.
No.
Yes, you have.
I have not. I have stated that your views are not nearly the same as mine. Go ahead.
You just okay. I don't know, from the stereotypical black person experience, it's all bad.
Right.
I guess. We're seen as lesser to some people. I guess there was some of that, sure. Comes with the territory. But it's like, I've seen the movies and stuff, but I've never thought like...
You've never seen yourself
it's
in
like,
that.
That's not me.
And I'm not saying that there aren't those people,
Right.
but we've taken one vision of an African American person, a black person, or black people, and we've not saying we, but the picture has been painted for us as if that's what black people as a whole are, and that's not true at all.
At all. Black people are cool.
Yeah.
I mess with them. And it's like, I don't know, it's like people, well, not people, the opposite people, are still kind of trying to put us down.
You think so?
It seems in a way, yeah. And it's just like, why? Because, like, we're so cool. But then it's like, but then you have people that are successful and you want to be like them.
Can you give examples?
Kevin Hart. I don't know why it was the first person that came to my mind. But he was.
Well, I bet you see a lot of yourself in Kevin Hart. Wait! No! So it's okay for everybody to do their Stephen Hawking jokes with me, but I get a fabricated laugh with Kevin Hart?
What do you mean?
You guys are both very tiny and funny. Yeah. That should be your role model.
he was for a very long time.
What happened?
I don't know. He just became unfunny and corny to me.
Really?
Yes.
I see that a lot in a lot of comedians. Anyways, as you were saying.
Sorry.
No.
Sidebar, who's your favorite comedian?
Oh.
Oh?
I don't know. Because I mean,
you don't just sit there and listen to stand-up all day.
I don't.
Most people
I don't stand up ever.
We know.
I love Monique. She's became sort of problematic. She doesn't think of herself that way. I love Monique. She's just like, there's no movie that Monique hasn't been in, stand-up specials, that you will not laugh at. Like, Peoria, please don't hate me. I don't think Richard Pryor was funny. He didn't, obviously, in the 70s, he had to be the first. But it's like now, because there's like Richard Pryor stand-up specials that are on Netflix. And then like every time they put out a Richard Pryor documentary, I watch it. But it's like, it's not for me. And I found myself, especially with a lot of the male comedians, black comedians, it's kind of like in the same mold. And it's kind of tiring. It's just there's something about Monique, but then she decided that she was too good for her own good one day and kind of did her in wrong. But I'd say Monique.
That's nice.
Thank you. Hey, Monique.
Hey, girl. I know you're listening.
She is. Monique, avid listener to the Maturish podcast.
Please shout us out on whatever you have. We need it.
But don't mix our views with yours.
No. Anyways. But yeah. And it's like something I did want to speak on. For a long time, we've had this, I don't know what to say, this thing, the first black whatever person, the first woman whatever person. Yes. And it's just like, why? Why do you think that happens? You okay, Kobe?
Yes. I just didn't expect you to come with these hard-hitting questions, and it's kind of choking me up a bit. I think...
Sorry, I'll just go back to being funny.
No, you're fine. You're completely fine. I think it happened because for so long...
White people are bad. Haha, so funny. Is that better?
Donovan. I was literally talking.
Go ahead.
You can have your own sob show later.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. For so long, everything was very much white dominated.
Of course.
There were no black people getting awards, even though, and a lot of the time, I should say, black people were what was best. Like, once again, if you go back, like, I love music. Music is my thing. The greatest to ever do it in music, man-wise, Michael Jackson. Woman-wise is Whitney Houston. Yet, and not saying like there aren't white legends. I mean, Dolly Parton, Reba McEntire, and even younger. I think Adele has that legendary status already. Love Adele. Like, they're there, but it's so much harder for black people. And black people haven't had much. So when you're able to say, oh, I was the first black whatever, it means just more. That's history.
Our history.
Black history.
Speaking of Black History, Black History Month. Do you believe it should exist?
I think Black History Month should be moved. Yes, Black History Month should exist.
Okay.
Black History Month should not be February.
Right.
It's very convenient that it is. Obviously, with not saying 2 days is much.
Right.
But of course, Black History Month is the shortest month of the year. It should be June.
Of course.
With like the peak being Juneteenth. Like, that's just me. I think that's just what it should be.
Obviously.
That's just it. So here's what I'm gonna ask you.
Okay.
Let's go back to last summer.
Okay.
In my opinion, since we've been born, yes, there's been like black crime and, police shootings and whatnot. But I think George Floyd was the biggest since Rodney King. And that was maybe 20 years ago. And I mean, not discrediting anybody else, not comparing. But like, yeah, we've had like Trayvon Martin and whoever else. But like George Floyd, I think, was the first time in our lifetimes that it really became a trend. Is that what I should say? I don't know if that's the correct word to use.
To some people, it may be.
And that's something else I wanted to talk about. But for you last summer, while all of that was going on, did you feel more in touch with the black community? How was that for you?
Yeah.
When everybody was banding together.
Right. Because for a while, everyone was just cool. We was just chilling.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, the orange man gets into office. Now there's a surge of like, and it's sad, but it's like us versus them. And that's not nice. But seeing as those kind of people got like a way to share their views, and it's like, now we have to stand up too, because that's not. No.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When we stand up, then we're the bad guys. And I've always found that interesting. At least from my viewpoint, growing up being biracial, white and black, I was not raised predominantly by my black side. It was white people. I grew up around NASCAR and country music. That was how I was raised.
Of course.
And it wasn't until last year. I mean, yes, I always knew that I was white and black.
Right.
And I didn't.
What? I'm black? Mom! I always wondered if my hair was so curly.
I thought it was just a perm. No, it wasn't until last year that I guess I realized that it's not that I had a choice, but growing up, quote unquote, white, it didn't necessarily matter. And I think that's what, like, you want to talk about that orange man? My entire family, literally, with the exception of my mother, are supporters of his.
Of course.
I'm talking like still to this day will argue with you about why he's like the greatest since George Washington to do it.
Oh.
Literally, like it's literally like they will yell, scream, go to his rallies and everything. And I'm not mad at you, at them, because you have the right to believe in what you believe in. But then at the same time, it's like I look at it as how can you be a woman and support something like that when he said things about women? How can you be black, hey Candace Owens, and support something like that when he's said things about black people?
Hey, guy from Monkey.
Exactly. Am I a coon? Yes.
Yep.
And it's so interesting because when these people are avidly supporting them, or supporting him, I should say, it makes me think like, do you not see me as black? And I've always realized like I never got a proper upbringing from either side. Because being with my dad, he would express how much he hated white people. And he would express that pure hatred from white people came because he hated my mom. So
That's great.
Every white person had to suffer because of her. Whatever. So it's like you'd go over there and it's like they're trying to turn you against your white side. And then I'd go to my white side and my sister had her first boyfriend. Kylie gets her boyfriend. He's black. And what was said to me was, your girlfriend's going to be white, right?
There goes my question in the beginning.
Like, I was always raised, I know they're not too fond of black people. And that's the thing. It's like, can you be mad at them? Because that's how they were raised. And yes, you always are able to learn. But when it's just embedded into you, that's all you know. But I was always raised as nobody was looking at it as, yes, you're my relative, but you're also black. Same thing on my dad's side. So like when everything was happening with George Floyd, and especially this last presidential election, I would be around family and they'd say some things about black people. And it's always happened, like jokes. A grandparent of mine I've heard make a direct guerrilla Michelle Obama joke. And like the whole room lit up with laughter. And it's just things at the time I've not ever noticed. But it wasn't until like last summer I was like, oh wait, like I'm right here. That I had to notice that it doesn't matter who raised you. It's literally like an appearance thing. Yes, I'm very much 50-50, but if we were in a car together and we got pulled over, they weren't going to sit there and be like, okay, you're obviously a black man, but your skin's a little lighter. Is your parents, one of them white? No, that's two black dudes in a car, whatever.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I'd really get it by myself anyways. I get Hispanic more though. Why?
Otis really looks Hispanic.
Does it?
He does.
Dude, monkey. This is the old white man you. Yeah. Oh, what? Oh.
At first I was like, who is that?
Yeah, I forgot too until I went and I looked and that was me.
It is.
I was the old white man. I had a choice to make. And that was either to like open my eyes and educate myself more. Because I hadn't really received that education. The most black I've had was like my friends. Or I could just continue to let things slide. And I made that choice.
Keep being racist, Grandma.
I didn't say it was my grandmother specifically.
Well, I did. I feel like I had something to say. Damn, ask me something.
I had nothing.
Oh no. Gorilla jokes, Obamas. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think maybe they're bringing it upon themselves?
The Obamas?
Yeah. It's okay. I'll let you think.
I actually don't need to think at all. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That's fine.
Once again, it's so weird. I don't know. Because I've had to live 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
It's like some people say they don't see color, and that yes, you do.
Yeah.
I don't see color.
I do.
I know you do. I don't really have a choice.
Right.
Like, my family is white. Like, I have to, like, even like if it comes down to me making children, because people do that.
Mm-hmm.
If I was to have children with a white girl, that child would be 75% Caucasian. That would be a Caucasian baby. Same thing. So it's like I can't see color. But when people are like just so ignorant to make jokes like that, you can support whatever you want to support.
Of course.
Not saying like, oh, it's okay to be like a Klansman or whatever, because there's a step that's a little too far.
Right.
But it's like it's 2021. I can understand how it might have been growing up white in the 60s, because then there was definitely like a superiority complex where it was preached to white people, you are better than this. Now it's not. And that's just the thing. It's like I've had to distance myself from people because why do you live life like that? Like how I said, it's like you can't be mad at anybody because that's how they were raised. But why don't you try to see things from the other point of view? Why don't you try to walk in somebody else's shoes? But they don't necessarily have to.
Right.
So here's my question, Donovan.
Okay.
In your lifetime, in your near 20 years of life experience, have you ever been racially profiled?
Kobe. That is such a great question. Believe it or not, yes, I have. You see, I was driving with my dad. We often take these road trips around the state just because,
Yeah.
a little father-son bonding time. So we were driving to this opposite people part of the state. We were just driving, we were just chilling. And then we pull up behind this car. No, we were in front of the car. Car pulled up behind us. Lights brighter than the sun. I was like, hey, turn down your dang lights.
Because that can hurt your eyes.
It can. So then we pulled up to this red light. The car got out and said, hey, nigga, don't you ever talk to me like that again. I said, okay. That's cool. That's what you want. So then my father and I got out the car and we whooped that man. We applied the hands to him until he was bleeding on the ground. Luckily, there was nobody around to see. So we just pulled off. I mean, and it's just things like that. It's like you just can't go out with your family and enjoy the luxuries of life without being insulted by the opposite people. I had something to say before. Get this. The Black Lives Matter, right? That's funny. I'm going to get to that later. Black Lives Matter, right?
Right.
And then,
are you asking me, do they? Black Lives Matter, right?
You're right. First question. Do they?
Yeah.
My answer,
That's all right. Okay.
sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank
Black
you.
Lives Matter. LGBTQ gay people movement.
Okay.
you see how Black Lives Matter and Black people trying to be seen as equal
Mm-hmm.
has been going on for centuries.
Yes.
But then you look over here
Mm-hmm.
to the rainbow folks, and then you see they're just flying through this shit.
Mm.
And it's like, is it like, I don't know. Is it like the skin color just that bad to the opposite people?
No. Well, yes, but no. Only because I don't even like comparing these things because it's really like um, they're both very hard things to go through for those people that have to experience them. Uh, I think the only reason that it seems as if there are, it's, what's the word I want to use? That the LGBTQ movement
Mm-hmm.
has gotten more traction. In my personal opinion, they try harder for acceptance. And there's more on average. Like, let's think about, and I'm thinking on Facebook, social media. I can vividly remember, this is every day, I probably pass up somebody who's in that community who is an advocate, who's trying to change something, whether they're sharing petitions, whatever. I don't think enough Black people do that
Mm-hmm.
unless there's a reason.
Right.
Like last summer, George Floyd, everybody was doing it. Were we doing it because we wanted change to happen? Yeah, because we do.
Right.
But at the same time, it was a trend.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had that little black square on Instagram for Blackout Tuesday. Everybody had hashtag BLM in their bios on everything. That fist was everybody's most frequently used emoji.
Right.
But since that the movement, I don't want to use died down because Black Lives Matter as a group has been around since I think 2013. It's just only, I kid you not, the first time I heard that phrase was last summer.
Mm-hmm.
Was last summer. And then since then, I can't tell you when the last time I heard it was.
Right.
Because as I don't think we are as authoritative all the time as we should be. Some are. I mean, gosh, you got to look at it. We still have Martin Luther King was not that long ago. Literally, like all that stuff was literally in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
We're just now in the 2020s.
Mm-hmm.
That's 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Like we still have Jesse Jackson. John Lewis just died. We still have these same people that are out fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And we have like grandparents who vividly remember growing up like that. Just somewhere in between generations, we lost the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's because we've seen like our grandparents and our parents, I'd even say like the fight started to die down with our parents' generation and we didn't help it necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it's because we seen how hard they fought and got nothing that we decided, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
But the most it seems like we do is use a hashtag. Mm-hmm. The most it seems like we do is when it's convenient, we might march.
Right.
That's it. And you can't get changed that way. So I think that's really the big difference between the two is that the LGBTQ plus community, they're wearing their rainbow. They're out, they're doing things as a community. Every Pride Month, there's, parades and everything. Black History Month, there's not that same energy. There 100% should be, which is why we will do what we need to do. But like that's an issue that has to It will start to change once enough changes within. Once we stop being so defeated. And it's going to be hard because we've been defeated for so long.
Yeah.
Never once did we win at all with anything.
Right.
So it's so easy to just tap out because generations spend their entire lives fighting. But we have to do something. And that's what I think the difference is that we don't do anything.
Right. I also feel like, what was I just about to say?
I think you should start bringing a paper,
Yeah.
pencil, and start writing things down.
I guess we made it to where it's like good enough.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. We had a black president. In my honest opinion, especially with how everything just went from 2016 to 2020, I would be surprised if in our lifetime we have another black president. Truly. Like Kamala Harris, and I'm not too fond of her anyways.
Right.
I think she is the closest, unless Joe Biden dies and Kamala Harris becomes president. I just don't think another black person will get to that point. Not saying they shouldn't. There should definitely be another black president. There should already have been a woman president. All these other things. Yet, I think we were making so much progress. Then
We just lost the fight.
certain people got elected into office.
Set us back.
And it set us back.
There you go.
Because before racism, a lot of people, they weren't outwardly necessarily racist. Then, when we turned on our TVs and we seen the one person who was the leader of our country, if he can say that and get away with it, I can too.
Right.
And that's when it all started happening. Was that how people were truly feeling on the inside, but were too scared to promote? They became comfortable. And they started freely being that. If that's how you truly want to live your life, then do it. If you're that deathly afraid of people of color, then don't sleep with one.
Right.
Don't reproduce with a black person. Go home with your white family. Do what you need to do.
Right.
Don't listen to R&B, rap music, hip hop, whatever. Don't watch black entertainment. But it shouldn't have gotten back to a point where black people were afraid. And it has. So now, I don't think it's as hard as it was in the 60s. But we're as close to where they were since they were. You can wait.
Okay.
I'll sing instead. We be.
Hey, the old house stink? Well, we have the solution for you. Over at Simone Scents, there's a large selection of scented candles for you to choose from. There's gasoline, nail polish, even Nickelodeon. Whatever you want, she's got it. Support a black-owned local small business in Simone Scents. Simone Scents, where scent is our priority. That's great. Yes, there we go. During the Orange Man's reign.
Reign of terror.
Exactly. I feel like there was a surge of just everywhere you saw it on Facebook, any social media that you got on the news. This white person, opposite people, just shooting, hitting, killing a black person. I feel like if that just shouldn't happen. As the leader of this country, shouldn't evoke that in people. And it's just sad that that's like even allowed to happen.
While last summer was horrible, for me, not saying like, I wasn't ever like approving of his presidency. Like, not I didn't truly think he was gonna win at all when he got elected. That next day, we had school, 8th grade year, 7th or 8th grade, one of the two. I woke up and the first thing I did was Google Hillary Clinton. That was the first thing I did because I thought it was gonna say Hillary Rodham Clinton is a former American First Lady, Secretary of State, and President-elect of the United States. And it didn't. So I was like, wait. Then I Googled Donald Trump. American businessman, reality TV star, and President-elect of the United States of America. I don't think politics and entertainment should ever mix. Ever. When Kanye West was talking about running for president. Absolutely not.
Right.
Not saying, Kanye obviously, he is not there.
Oh, right.
But I just don't think it should mix.
Right.
Like, at all. We should have, for politics, I truly believe it should be somebody who went to school, who is an educated politician, who worked their way up, governors. And, like, these people who have this experience, that should be who we trust to lead our country. Not because you're rich and I know your name. Like, and that's what we did. So it's like, then when we heard, Kanye West is running for president, Roseanne Barr ran for president. Like, no. It's just, it was weird. But like I said, I didn't approve at all of his presidency. But January 6th, when all of that stuff happened at the Capitol, I was just mind blown. Truly. That there is no reason, like, okay, does a terrorist necessarily have to be somebody who's out of the country? Like, is it possible?
I think, yeah. And then, like, the person that's from here, that's a domestic terrorist.
Really? There's no reason why they're not branded that way.
Of course.
Every single person who walked up to the country's capital that day, like, why are we not treating them the same as we treated bin Laden?
Right.
There is no difference. And even with him, he had already lost the presidency at that time. It was only Joe Biden was going to get elected in 2 or 3 weeks. Donald Trump is a very smart man. He knew exactly what he was doing. He brainwashed a lot of people.
Yes.
So when Donald Trump snapped his fingers, people were willing to travel across the country and fight his battles for him. People literally was going to go into the country's capital, and kill people. And that was okay. Could you imagine if 10 years ago, everybody was against Barack Obama? So 500,000 people of color decided, we're going to take over the Capitol building. That big old group wouldn't have been able to round that corner.
Nope.
Yet police officers were literally opening up gates and walking people up steps.
Right.
In 2021. It's crazy. Like, you think we've made so much progress because we have those first evers to go back on. We've had a black president. We've had black this and black that. That you don't realize that the battle isn't even halfway over.
It's crazy because, like, if those people that did storm the Capitol looked like us, would have been the greatest massacre in the latest, however.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
And it just didn't help that we even allow police officers to have those beliefs. Like, as a police officer, you should not be biased. at all. There should be zero bias. If you are breaking the law, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, yellow, red, blue, or brown. You should be held accountable for your actions. I don't care if you look just like me or not.
Right.
I don't care if you're my brother or not. Like all this, what's that man's name that is on the run from the police right now? Brian Laundrie. They cannot find Brian Laundrie anywhere. Wow, good for him.
Congrats.
If you were to kill your girlfriend or whoever, me, the love of your life,
Of course.
if you were to off me, I'm pretty sure they would have found you. You probably would have stopped running, but just sat there. It's me. Hey, everybody.
I got tired of running. Hello.
All right.
Exactly that.
But it's like, it's just so crazy, the power that white people just still have. It's like, it hurts. It kind of hurts me to say, because I feel like I'm more white than I am black. Not obviously like biologically, but growing up in my family, it's white people. But that's just how it is. I will not have the same opportunities, or I will not be treated the same way that I will not have the same opportunities or be awarded the same. I will not be treated the same as kids my age in my family who literally were brought up the same way as cousins, when there's no difference besides the color of our skin.
Right.
At the end of the day, I don't understand how people can be that way. Because it doesn't matter. Like, we're all just people at the end of the day. You slice your wrist, I slice mine, you slice my mom's. You go down the street taking a slice at everybody. It's all going to bleed red. Like, really, what's the difference? It's just, it was okay for so long that if it does end up changing, we will not be around to see it. I don't even know if our kids will be around to see it. Because as much progress as we were making, we were set back so far. It's truly like mind-boggling, but that's how it was.
This is like the things that happen to us, they continue to happen. And it's like you said, we think we're making progress, but then we see another officer being let go for killing a family of black people because...
Yeah, not going to prison on death row. They're just on unpaid leave. Derek Chauvin. Only. And I will live and die by these words every day. The only reason Derek Chauvin is in prison and is going to live out his sentence in prison is because that jury was terrified of what black people were going to do if that verdict was not guilty. 100%. That is the only reason. There's been... None of the officers from Rodney King got in trouble. When on video evidence, they're beating that man. None of them got in trouble. The only reason Derek Chauvin... I'm not even sure if like the other cops that are with him are getting in trouble because they didn't help or whatever. They were just unsure of what the black community was going to do. That's the only reason he got in trouble. Like, a lot of it, and even like Joe Biden making Juneteenth a national holiday, it's very much, here, have a cookie. There's no substantial progress being made. It is minimal progress. Juneteenth should definitely be a holiday and celebrated. But it's not nearly enough. It's progress that we should have made 40 years ago.
Yeah. Here, I just remembered something. Because, like, history, it's like the people at the top, they use tricks to, like, change our mind to how, like, history works. Because, like, I've seen read they make the Martin Luther King pictures black and white, so we think it's like
500 years ago.
exactly
Literally.
when my grandma was down there marching with him,
Literally.
watching this man on the TV,
Literally.
and it's like,
Martin Luther King died in 1968. That was 9 years before my mom was born.
if he wasn't murdered,
Yeah.
he'd be alive.
Literally, because once again, the people that were with him have aged out. You know, John Lewis just recently passed away. Rosa Parks only died in 2005. But like Jesse Jackson is very much still alive. Jesse Jackson, who literally marched right next to Martin Luther King, was present at the George Floyd marches. Like, there are very much still these people who we see in the history books in black and white pictures that are on social media with us today, that are still breathing the same air.
Of course.
And here's the question I'll ask you.
Gotcha.
What could be a solution? Is there something black people need to do in order to get more accepted? What do you think could be the change or could spark the change that at least opens the door again for acceptance, if it was truly ever opened in the first place?
Well, what I'm thinking is, I guess we need like a leader, leaders even, to just say, hey, this is going on too long. We are the same as you, and you're going to see it as that. But even if we do get those people, there are people with enough power to say, hey,
sit your ass down.
No.
Yeah. Anyway.
Like, nice try.
Yeah.
Like when people like LeBron uses his stage to say, hey,
their platform,
what you're doing is wrong. People say, shut up and dribble.
And that's the thing. Because, a lot of it also comes from the black community. Like, people sit there and use LeBron for example. Well, that's not your place.
Right.
Your place is layups and free throws, not activism.
Go dunk a basketball.
Right. And that's just wrong. Because what we need is people with platforms to sit there and say, you know what, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. But that's what we need. We need, like, even if you're that celebrity, and it's going to be so hard, because if you have enough people telling you that, and they're in your comments, you're probably not going to feel as motivated.
Right.
But a lot of it, to me, at least how I view it, is just jokes. Like, people are commenting this to get 100 likes out of the comment, and for people to comment laughing emojis. They're not really serious.
Right.
We just need a substantial, I don't even want to say leader. We need leaders.
Right.
Like, Martin Luther King didn't do it alone. Yeah, it's his name that we know. We need men. We need women. We need groups of people to all come together and to figure out how we can at least start back on the road to acceptance and equality. Because we got so off track that at a point, and even like kind of right now, it's kind of hard to see like how are we going to get back on track. So that's exactly what we need is community leaders. Like literally start at home.
Right.
If I got to do it, I guess
I'd do it.
What if they just like point me out?
Sir,
excuse me.
Young man, I think it's time for you to go home.
You've been here for about half the day. Your time has expired here. No, but it's like, it doesn't matter. Even white people, you can join the fight too.
Of course.
Like, even white people that I know who are pro-black, to me, truthfully, I believe it's their voices that would get heard before anybody else's. When it's one of their own, it's that voice that we need. Okay, well, really quick, hold on.
Oh.
Did you hear that?
I did.
That lady is a teacher at Richwoods. Here, watch it.
Oh,
That's why I just asked you, like, did you hear about that?
is that two opposite people? I'm telling
Yeah. Like, to them, it's a joke.
you. Right.
It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
What was I saying? We just need, like, it's their voices that would get heard first.
Yep.
The hashtag is nice and the fist emoji sure is cute. But we need to really vote change.
Don't we?
Get back in the streets and all band together.
Mm-hmm.
Stop just posting black squares on a Tuesday and think that's good enough. Because it's not.
It's not.
It'll be good enough when it doesn't matter what color your skin is, how much money you have, where you were born and raised. Everybody should be treated the same.
Right.
Period.
And like I was saying before with the black leader folks, Colin Kaepernick, he knelt for the anthem thing.
He did. The national anthem.
Yep, whatever the song is.
Yeah.
Then now he can't play his sport anymore.
Exactly.
So then all of a sudden he decides, oh, I don't want to do that anymore then. I'm going to stand up for change.
And he was taken as a joke.
Where
Like, you're a quitter. And, like, there were probably even some people, well, he should have just stood his ass up. And
then, like, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I searched him. And it's
Searched.
Colin Kaepernick,
Okay.
just him. So I was like, what is he even doing anymore? And his, like, label is, like, a black activist. And it's like, why don't we hear from, like, black activists? It's like,
And that's the thing. It's just there. Because they are there. You know, like, activism did not end with MLK and with all of them, with Rosa Parks and everybody else. Like, just think about it. Like, they're still there, but who from this generation is going to be in the history books? Like, we just don't have the same platform. There's more, but it also doesn't help when you say certain things and you get put in Facebook jail. Or you get banned on Twitter. So we have more opportunities, yet it seems like the platform is getting smaller and smaller. That's why truly as black people, we need to do that research. We need to truly find out who is fighting the good fight. Because at the same time, not saying like, oh, this is what LeBron does, but there are going to be celebrities who say this just to get good headlines.
right.
So don't just follow because, oh, your favorite basketball player is saying he's an activist. Don't just sit there and, don't fight blindly. You need to truly find out who is an actual advocate, who is actually, in school getting educated, and who is fighting the fight for us because we need to join them.
And those people that are doing this just aren't getting like the support or recognition that they need.
Right.
Because like they're doing this, and I feel like all the rest of us are doing just like dragging them down. It's like they're doing something for the betterment of all of us,
Right.
and we're just like, I don't know, taking it for granted, I guess.
Right. And that's what we are. Because, like, you and me, we're not out doing whatever. Could we be? Yes. But it almost feels like, well, they're already doing it, so why do I have to? The least we can do is just be a partner. Help promote these people. And like I said, you need to promote the right people. Don't just do it because your favorite rapper, your favorite celebrity is speaking up and, you live life vicariously through them.
Right.
You need to find out who the true advocates are, who the 100% fighters are, and we need to put our trust in them, and we need to do what we need to do. Follow these people, share what they're saying, listen to them, because they are there. Yet we only pay attention to them when we're under attack. Not saying we're not under attack all the time, but it's mild at the moment.
Right. It's died down.
That means the fight had to stop.
Right. I would love to. Would you like to help Black people, Kobe?
I don't have a problem with them. I'd like to.
Okay.
It's just I don't think it shouldn't take somebody losing their life for us to band together.
Right.
Why wait for somebody to die when we're all alive right now?
It's so crazy.
It is.
And it's like, what I'm thinking, like, I want to do something, but like,
What do you do?
what do we even
And
do?
that's the thing. You need, I need, we need, everybody needs. You need to find your voice. You need to find what you offer, what your platform is, because not everybody's able to do everything.
Right.
Maybe out walking the streets day and night isn't for you, but it's for somebody. Everybody has something different to bring to the table now. Utilize social media more. Have a bigger voice. Like, we all can bring something to the table. It's just it's time that we do so.
It's just like, because what I'm thinking is like, the opposite people are so in power. They just do what they want, truly. And then it's like, I feel like it's just like impossible. Because like when they feel this way, that they have this power over us, they have like so much power over us. It's like, what even is there to do?
Yeah.
It's like, if we go for a march, they could easily say, hey, stop, or we will...
Call the police. And
Yes, and they'll be on the side of them.
Right.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't someone just be on our side?
And that's the thing. I mean, and this is... MLK was very anti-violence. Malcolm X said fight.
Yeah.
Fight. Do what you need to do. There's going to be more of us than there is police officers. More of us than there is one or two Karens. Like, we just need to stop letting them have the power. Because we let them.
Right.
Not everybody, but if somebody says something to you that's out of pocket, don't let them, you have a good day, ma'am. No!
Right.
Slap that bitch across the face!
Exactly.
Pimp slap that hoe. Like, do whatever you need. Like, to help them realize, yes.
It's like, because like back in the day, of course, people were willing to give their lives.
Literally.
We just don't have that
That's
enthusiasm.
that same, no, we don't. And that's the thing. It's like, and if anything, the fight's only gotten harder. So we need to all find that fight within. And stop looking at it as it's somebody else's job. Because how it may not impact you now, but don't give it the chance to.
Right, because when it does,
Right, then what?
all of a sudden, uh-oh.
Right. Because the last thing
Now I'm being shot.
exactly, the last thing that needs to happen is me or you or somebody else is the next hashtag. That's just it. We need to use what we have while we have it, because you truly never know, ever.
That's crazy.
Tisn't.
I'm about to do my Black people research.
Okay.
I mean,
about to do my Black people impression.
I can.
Feel free. Send us home.
Would you do one with me?
Yep. Send us home.
Go ahead, Kobe.
Oh, no, you first. Send us home channeling your inner Black person, Donovan.
My inner Black person. That's so interesting. Are you ready, Kobe?
Yep.
Hey guys, I'm an African American, and I've decided that it's enough. Now I'm gonna fight to make sure my people are equal as the opposite people.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Yo, yo.
Oh my lord.
Oh, we are part of the problem.
Yeah, we
Yo,
are.
yo, yo, yo. Oh, no.
Dude,
Way.
that's horrible.
Dude. Oh, my God. I need that edited out, but I need it sent to me first. Thank you. Anyways. So, Donovan, on that note.
I'm leaving that in. That's staying in.
I need you to send us home.
Okay. With another. Oh, sorry. What's wrong, Kobe?
Nothing.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna say. Black people are discriminated against, and there is a fight that needs to be fought. And I feel many people have become complacent and feel that what we have is good enough. But it's not. Good enough isn't good enough until it's good.
Enough.
And I just feel like all of you out there, if you are with us, help.
Yeah. Use your voice.
Because everyone has one.
Yes.
It may not be on the same level as most.
And I'm sorry for y'all.
Right. But you have it.
Yeah.
You do. So use it, please. And to you opposite people that believe that us black people aren't good enough, fuck you, and I'm gonna come get you, bitch. You have anything to say, Kobe?
I think you hit it all on the head there.
All right.
Like he said, fight the good fight. Because if you aren't going to fight, catch a flight. I'm about to bite.
Wow. Such inspirational words, Kobe. Thank you for that. Remember, our social medias are everywhere. We should really start putting a Linktree link in the description.
Yeah, we? Okay. Yes. Social medias are everywhere. If it's a place with the username, that username is _KD Productions _. If you're looking for the Facebook or the YouTube, that is K the &D Productions. I'm Kobe, and you can find me pretty much everywhere at Kobe Who Else and Snapchat at isthatkobe524. Donovan is across the table from me. And everybody be blessed. This is and was the Maturish Podcast.
Bye.
Cut!
It's over!